Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so the Ike base alpha is on its way to the orbit of a million things. That's all I have to say. I really have no other name for it other than the Duna orbit or whatever, but yeah, this is going to be, I think this is actually worse than the Jewel Explorer in many different ways as far as complexity and everything else. It's not going to be overly complex, I guess, the mission, but the problem is just the fact that I'm going to be launching so many friggin' things that, like, it's like pandemonium as far as the orbit is concerned. I actually thought that there might be two things that collide in orbit because there's so many things in that one specific general area, but I was a little bit wrong about that. But you know, everything was close. That's all I can say. There we go. Alright, throttle back up. So, yeah, I've been having a little bit of fun with this still. I mean, it's starting to wear on me a little bit as far as the amount of launches and the amount of things that need to be done and just about everything else. Let's see. We gotta start tilting over to 90. Here we go. Yeah, so I've been kind of incorporating some of this stuff. I've been working on the Delta V, you know, once again, the Delta V without tears, and it's coming along, you know, it's coming along. That's the best way to describe it. The best way, honestly. I don't want to get anybody too excited about it because at the same time it does require me to do a lot of work, which I have been doing, but it is just, you know, with working with Excel and everything, I am not the best person to consult about working on Excel spreadsheets and things like that. I am not the most knowledgeable person you could ever meet that could really tell you everything about Excel and entering in formulas and just I'm a graphics kind of guy. If you need something to look good, I can definitely really do that as far as making things look pretty good. I'm always more of the form kind of person, but the function generally I end up starting to lack on a little bit here and there, but overall, it's looking good. I ended up going through some revisions of previous things that I added, and come on, there we go. I revised a lot of it because I just didn't like the design of some of the basic functions, and I also felt that I needed to add some extra things, which I'm looking into macros and coding and stuff like that as far as putting some kind of visual, like, I know it's a lot of it's like Visual Basic coding, which I am not good at in any way. Asking me to do Visual Basic is like probably the worst idea you could ever have in your life, because I took a programming class before and I didn't do so well, put it that way. It was an IT course basically, but they incorporated coding, and they incorporated it was coding, hardware, and just a lot of stuff all in one. A very inclusive course for everything, and I was the main reason. Oh yeah, and I had networking too. I did very good at the networking. I did very good with the hardware. And when it came down to programming, I basically just hated it. So that is where I basically just kind of called it a day. And I learned some very basic programming, but that was about maybe 9 years ago. I barely remember even fractions of it, so. But we can get this thing into orbit, hopefully, this episode. I've been having a little bit of problems with it. That's why I'm trying to obtain a little bit higher of an orbit. That way, it, you know, I have a little bit of leeway. So let's just try to get this thing into orbit. It's a little bit heavier than the Duna one because I added a few extra things. I changed some stuff around. I mean, I removed all the parachutes from it. I added extra fuel, and what else did I do? Let's see. Oh yeah, I added more engines to it. I was gonna go with the engines that actually go on the bottom. They look kind of like a little mini Rockomax. I think that's what they are. I think they are the Rockomax brand engine, but I just didn't use those because of the fact that there already is docking ports here, and it would just create a lot of confusion and part clipping and things like that. I just would rather not do. So it looks like, I mean, we're going to probably achieve orbit. I'm a little bit skeptical right now, but I think everything should be okay. I'm just going to burn a little bit up, I think. You know what, I think I might just leave it right in the center of the prograde, and I think we'll be okay. I have high hopes. That's all I can say. You gotta have high hopes. So, what? I thought I saw the moon. Yeah, there it is. But a lot of this design is still exactly the same. I mean, you can see the RCS tanks are still there. The way that the modules are designed is still basically about the same. I didn't add on anything extra, like as far as bells and whistles are concerned, nothing really else. I ended up adding on this little small fuel tank here, and I'm going to be keeping that basically for, you know, once we are landing, just to bring some extra fuel to the surface. I'm going to be testing that out as well. It's going to be a small test, because I like to test a lot of things to see if ideas will work. I don't know if this whole thing is so heavy that even with all these engines firing, it could possibly just fall straight to the ground and, you know, to the surface of Ike and not actually land correctly. So I have a little bit of doubts with certain things. That's all I can say. But overall, it's looking good. I spent a good amount of time really thinking about how everything is going to come together. So I'm not 100% certain. So the one thing I wanted to jump back into is the conversation from the last episode as far as the reason why I got into this game and kind of like what got me into space and stuff like that. And I kind of left it off, but you know, basically one of the major things that I've always been waiting for is a game like this, and it's really been one of the things that I've really always wanted to play, is like a simulated space game, a sandbox space game, because they had games where you could build your own aircraft before, and a lot of different games that are kind of like that, where you could build your own aircraft or customize your aircraft, and they never really had anything involving space in any kind of way. You know, they had games where you could simulate your own trains, and you could simulate this, and they never had Space Simulator, you know, and that's the one thing that I really always wanted, and I always wondered why they never did it, and now I can kind of understand it a little bit, but at the same time, why not? What happened? You know, my whole childhood I could have been playing space games, but no, you never gave it to me. So I know there was like Moonlander and stuff like that, and I did play those games when I was really young. I had the cart for, I believe for Atari, it was Moon Landing, something like that. I can't remember the name specifically off the top of my head. It's been a little while since I actually brushed the dust off my Atari and played, so I can't really remember the exact name of it. But that was one of the games I used to mess around with, and, you know, obviously playing, like, Halo, and the games where you sort of get to simulate space, but you don't. But it's been pretty fun as far as what I've gotten to do in this game, and one of the major questions that I think I'm also going to answer this episode, because I get it on a fairly kind of frequent basis, I would say, and this isn't in reference to this one person who actually asked this question, or, you know, basically stated, actually a couple of them, but it's not in reference to you, and I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm talking about you for asking this question in any kind of way. I'm not making it sound like you are the reason why I'm answering this question. It's just more of how I feel about the game, I guess I should say, and why I do what I do. So the question is why don't I play with mods? Now, there's a few different reasons, and one of them said, okay, well, I can understand if people are purists and they don't want to destroy their game by adding on extra things that don't actually come with the game. I don't want to label myself as that. I don't label myself in any kind of specific category when it comes down to things like that or any of that stuff. I don't play with mods because it's just preference and choice. And, one of the major things with this game, along with a lot of other things, is not only am I doing Let's Plays for this game, the one thing that I see as a major thing is I want somebody to be able to watch my video and then go, oh my god, I can build that too. And I don't have to go and download X, Y, and Z mod, and this mod, and this mod, even if I linked all of the mods that if I were to play with them, even if I was like, okay, well, all you need is this, and this, and this, and this, and I put all the links to them, and you could go and download all of them, I want somebody just to watch my video and go, okay, well, I can do that. All I gotta do is fire up my game and put all these pieces together, or whatever it is, and boom, I'm done. And that's it. So the inspiration is there, and there isn't much of a gap between me and any player with this game. Anybody who watches my videos could basically build what I'm building, and they don't need to worry about getting I forgot some of them, like KSPX, and that's one of the mods that I actually thought was really cool, and at one point I was actually going to add it into my game because it was such a great mod that I don't see any purpose on why not having it. But the one thing I will say is the person who developed KSPX is now on the KSP team as far as development. So all the parts that they already had on KSPX are actually just being added to the game now. So there's no point in adding it if it's going to be already added in. So I know there's other parts that are on the mod that aren't in the game yet, and I'm hoping that some of them get added. I'm not going to specifically state which ones, but certain parts aren't in the game that were obviously in the mod. And other stuff too. I mean, I'm not going to cover MechJeb because everyone kind of knows my view as far as MechJeb is concerned a little bit, and I don't really want to actually state that anyone uses MechJeb sucks or anything like that. Once again, I never want to state that because anyone who plays this game has already taken a pretty big risk when it comes to understanding physics, the physics in this game, or like just general physics and learning how to build rockets and learning how to do a lot of things in this game that you otherwise wouldn't have learned and wouldn't have ever thought about if it wasn't this game that actually made you think about these kinds of things. So, I just never really got into modding, especially in Minecraft as well. And I've always kind of related modding to, you're basically getting to the point in the game where you're so bored with the actual game that your only thing you're trying to do is squeeze out some more fun out of your game because of the fact that you want to do something, but you just want to make it either easier or they haven't implemented that feature into the game yet. So you just want something to tie you over until it actually is in the game, which is understandable in many circumstances. And I don't want to say that that's a bad thing. I completely understand that. But I can wait. I'm a very patient person. And I am very much okay with having to wait maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months until specific things are added into the game. I'm totally fine with that. So what is this behind me? I figured that's what that was. So modding is something that I always talked about. I'm still considering doing like mod spotlights at some point. I mean, I'm already kind of wrapped up with a lot of different things in KSP right now. So, I've kind of put it off, and I've talked about it ever since some of my very earlier episodes and stuff like that, and I don't want to put anyone off by saying that I'm going to do it and never eventually doing it. So that's kind of where I'm going to go with that. So we got this whole thing into orbit finally. I had a little bit of problems before. That's why the takeoff was a little bit funky. But I think everything's pretty good now. I think we're okay. I think everything's okay. Ugh. There we go. So I'll decouple this. Yeah, there we go. So this is one of the features that I guess I should say that I added in just to make things easier on myself a little bit. There we go. Alright, stop moving. It's moving off to like the left or something. I don't know. Where's the... Oh yeah, this is what I remember. This is why I didn't use this. I didn't put RCS on it. Totally amazing. So let's just... You know, I could probably keep this in orbit. Or if anything, I could probably... I'm going to try this. Probably not a great idea. So I'm going to try docking using the engines themselves. And I probably am not going to get very far. So I think I should quick save. I think I just quick saved over the top of another quick save, which would have had the ship put all together again. But let's see if we can do this. I don't really have very high hopes about any of this. This might save me a launch, so it is kind of worth doing, but I'm still going to have to end up coming here with 2 other craft as it is. So this thing just keeps spitting. Oh, it's because I don't have SAS on. I'm like an idiot. So let's see. Let's go this way. Let's see if we can do this without any RCS. I should turn on chase cam as well. That might kind of solve my whole dilemma with this thing. Just keeps on rocking. Let's see. Alright, start the burn here. Go a little bit over. And now I gotta flip over. Don't hit the craft. Oh god, we hit the craft. That might have been a good thing. This just might have been a good thing. Alright. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. This is amazing. Alright. Do I got it? Am I actually going to do this without RCS? I didn't really have that much confidence in myself in doing this without RCS. So, let's see. Come on. Come on. There we go. This might save me a little bit of time, but I don't really think I will be keeping this engine. I'm not sure about that. Come on. Oh, oh, oh. Come on. Come on. Amazing. Holy crap. Hey, it's a little off center, I think. You know, as far as the engines, but I'll take that. I'm okay with this. I'm definitely not complaining. That kind of did save me some extra. I definitely can do something else with that engine, maybe. I don't know. I might end up just keeping it anyways. I really don't know. Well, anyways, guys, it was a little fun. I definitely just tried something new for the... I definitely have never docked without RCS before, so that was amazing. So if you guys want to, go and check out at the end of this video, there will be a link to Plastic Spork's page. Go and check him out. He plays Kerbal just like me. He does a bunch of different kinds of crazy stuff, so go and check him out. If you guys like what you see here, subscribe. There's always more to come. To all you new people, welcome. And yeah, I will see you next time.